Is dating a thing of the past? A new documentary film examines what's happening in American culture today as young people try to establish a meaningful relationship with that special someone. The Dating Project comes to cinemas nationwide on April 17th. It's a special one-night event, a project of Boston College professor KERRY CRONIN. We take a look now at a preview, followed by a discussion with CAROLEE McGrath and GINA CZERWINSKI and JAQUELINE Luna from the Office of Faith Formation and Youth Ministry.
Hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing good? Nice to meet you. You are really attractive and I'm nervous. I love you.
My name is Cecilia Lucia Campos Gutierrez. I am single.
My name's Shanzi. Hi, boys.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm an active listener.
My name is Matt Shilton, and I am single.
There's like single, married, and then there's extra single, and that's the one that I would check off.
What is dating?
Dating in today's society is cruel.
I don't really think that anyone knows how to date. Like, it's not a skill that our generation really has.
In college, I would definitely say hooking up is 100% more common than dating.
Story of boy meets girl. Girl really likes boy. Girl thinks that boy really likes girl.
I wish you could just be old school. You know, like he looked at me, I looked away.
There's not that, gentleman and lady kind of feel to dating. No limits anymore. Like making out isn't hooking up anymore. It's way further than that.
There's a ridiculous amount of pressure on people. Mr. Close Enough is out there. Mr. Perfect, he's nowhere to be found.
About 8 or 9 years ago, I realized that students weren't dating, and I sort of was finding out things about hookup culture, and I thought, well, this is crazy. So I started asking students to go on what I refer to as traditional dates.
I don't know if this is why I'm single, but the only thing I ask of a woman is that they replace you. Is that bad? Is that bad? Do you think women turn away from that?
Oh, heaven's sakes.
You really know that's...
So to talk more about the Dating Project, we are joined by GINA CZERWINSKI, who is the Director of Catechetics and Faith Formation for the Diocese of Springfield, and also JAQUELINE Luna, who is a Program Coordinator for the Faith Formation Office. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So I want to start with you, JAQUELINE.
Okay.
You're 23 years old. This is about your generation, and really the generations above you as well. But it's really, really difficult to be a young adult, I would say, today. Do you think that this documentary is relevant to people your age?
Speaking about this topic in particular, yes, I think it was very relevant, very current into the difficulties of what my generation is facing, and very interesting to hear how widespread and big these conversations are with youth.
In general, right?
In general, yeah.
So kids don't know, and I say kids, but people don't know how to date anymore. And and it's not just me being old-fashioned, which I am. They just don't know how to do it. Like, call and, hey, let's go out to dinner, look nice, pull the chair out, hold the door open. That doesn't happen.
No, those formalities have been long gone, unless you find someone who's really chivalrous. Mm-hmm. Using the phone to call is something that doesn't happen very often
Only
anymore.
for data source like me.
It really is. It's a data source. It's not a telecommunications is not the way it used to be. So that notion is it's lost. It's lost in translation.
Mm-hmm.
Put it that way. So young people have gone to other means of meeting people, using electronic media, digital media, and so that notion of the hand-holding, walking down the street and going to a movie or having dinner, it's just not where people are at. It's more like a group of friends getting together somewhere for dinner. It's not really a date, but it's they get together.
No, because you've gone from the date to the hookup scene, which is just so prevalent among young people, not certainly just your generation. That's been going on
for a while.
For a long time. And the problem is, of course, is you're trying to bring up children in the faith. So they go all the way through high school and they're in youth group and they're great. And then you get to college and it's a different animal. How do you help encourage kids to live their faith and to resist that temptation? Because it's out there. It's almost impossible.
I think the expectations are there even from the youth and from the adults in this generation. I think they are looking for this type of relationship, but the conversation isn't what's there. And I think that's what this film is drawing. It's drawing a conversation to why are things being lost in interpretation? Like, many of them wanted to be on those dates. Many of them wanted to have those fulfilling relationships, but it's not what they were encountering.
And I think the whole promise of the hookup scene is just such an empty promise, because you may have one person who says, oh my gosh, I just really, love this person, where the other person's like, oh, that's it. And I feel like when we're teaching our kids, and these are difficult conversations to have with our kids and in faith formation, they're so necessary to teach them what the church teaches, that no, it's not just your crazy old-fashioned mother, but this is why Jesus set up these rules, if you can call them that.
Well, I think it goes back to talking with young people about relationships and the importance of relationships in the church, that everything going back to Christ has always been about the relationship with those around him, the relationships he built with not only the saints, we might say, but also the sinners, So we come full circle and we have the church today and focusing on positive, healthy relationships with your peers, as well as positive, healthy relationships with your faith community, with your family and your friends. Those are all conversations that can be happening at the same time, and they're interrelated. So it's not that we have the conversations about life separate from the conversations about faith, but faith informs life and life informs our faith.
And is this something that you see as a big issue as you are now, in the role that you're in?
Yeah, I see that, as you're preparing young people and you start talking to them about the sacrament of marriage. So conversations come up about, well, why should I be married? And what does that have for me? I can be living with someone, So all of these conversations do come up in that course of faith formation with high school students and, in college settings as well. So how do you help them go beyond the status quo to want more? And that's really that question of that Christ asks for more. So how do we help our young people want that and see that that's their calling?
Right, and I think the other thing that's important, I know that this is always driven home in masses and homilies, is that, if kids or young adults do veer off from their faith in whatever way, Christ is always saying, come on back, I love you and I want you. And I think that's a really important message for kids to have as well, right?
Absolutely. They need to know that mistakes happen. We're all sinners in one way or another, but that Christ's mercy is there for all of us with open arms. So there is a way back home, and there is a way to gain new and meaningful relationships, and to leave some of that other stuff behind, and that the church is always there to give that sacrament of grace.
Right, it's never easy following Jesus, is it? He always, it's hard, but it's the way we got to do it, though. I mean, it's hard for all of us. We got to pick up that cross. So this is a great documentary for parents and for young people as well. So thank you both so much for joining us today, and we'll just keep praying, that our kids, find, the right person and at least date, right? That's the first step. Go on a nice date. Thank you so much.
Risk something and go out for a date.
Yeah.